So one of the, getting into the fintech and Arcus more specifically, something that I wanted to mention is when you guys position yourself as fintech as a service and you guys provide different use cases, I would like if you could give me your 2 cents on what that really means for the audience that hears it for the first time.
Yeah, so in layman's terms, we are enabling fintech to happen in a region that typically didn't have fintech, and that region is Latin America. As you know, most of Latin America is underbanked. People are very cash-centric. So the first gap in going from cash-centric to digital-centric is allowing people to turn that cash into digital services. So one of the products that we have is called Cash to Digital. We have the broadest network of cash to digital points of sale in Mexico. Work with companies like Walmart, 7-Eleven, Circle K, where anyone can go with cash, deposit cash, and turn that cash into a digital wallet, like a RappiPay or Albo, Cuenca, any digital wallet you can think of. Right. And that's typically the first step in helping people go from underbanked to banked. Exactly. Using the same retailers that they normally would to buy essential services like food. So that's one of our primary services that we have today. Another one is helping people pay their bills on time. Right. So through our infrastructure, any fintech can help their consumer base pay, manage all their bills inside of their app. Before us, typically you have to go through many places to make those payments manually. But now you can go to one place digitally in your phone to manage and pay all those services.
Absolutely. And when I was reading about your story as a company as well, I said you guys at one point pivoted and went from B2C to B2B. And I'm guessing that was not an easy transition, but what were the lessons that you learned through that? And at what point did you realize, okay, we need to make a change?
Yeah, that was a tough transition, especially being a first-time CEO.
Right.
You become somewhat enamored with the B2C app and the brand and having end consumers as clients. So it was quite painful. I still remember the emails that we got from some of our consumers to say that we decided to sunset the app. Right. I broke down in tears. But it was necessary because we saw B2B, this is back in 2017, as a much bigger opportunity. This is right before the fintech wave happened in LATAM, so we timed it quite well, but by luck, not by design. And we said to ourselves, look, there's going to be a kind of a tidal wave of fintech happening in the region. I think the demographics are trending the right way. Venture capital is starting to come into the region. The infrastructure here sucks.
Right.
So let's start building infrastructure, and we started building infrastructure for bill pay. And we built basically the Stripe for bill pay in Mexico, like a very clean RESTful API to pay any kind of utility bill or subscription via one API. And had a ton of success around that. And last year we became a licensed money transmitter. So we can now enable money movement from point A to point B, like the one I mentioned, Cash Digital.
How do you deal with that mentally and pressure, especially at the rock bottom or one of the lowest points? I run my own business, which is way smaller than yours, but it's still not easy mentally. So like, how do you take care of that pressure and responsibility as a CEO?
That's a really great question. I think like being a startup CEO, it's quite challenging from many aspects, not only the mental toll that it takes on you, the psychological wherewithal that it takes. We at Arcus have actually developed 6 core values, and one of those values is grit, mental grit. Mm-hmm. It's kind of one of the things, the first things that we test for every single new hire. Like, does this person have the grit, the wherewithal to overcome all the ebbs and flows? Because the highs are highs, but the lows are really low.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of personal things that I do. I do yoga. I meditate almost every single day. I'm a big follower of Stoicism. Right. Mm-hmm. So Stoicism is my religion. So whatever religion you need to follow. You will need some kind of religion, independent of if you are, secular or not. I think you need something. You do need to live on a higher self, so to speak, to get you through this. And you need a support network. Having a really good co-founding team, a great middle management team, people that can go to bat and go to work for you, and having a good support network outside of the company as well. Have friends that are founders.
Right.
That's typically your first line of defense, because you really can't complain to your investors or your employees or your co-founders. But you can complain to all your co-founders because they understand, and only they understand the journey.
Makes sense. And I do think we can, as CEOs, sometimes we think that we can handle everything ourselves, and we have to keep everything to ourselves as well. And being in a place where we can share, I think can relieve of that thought mentally.